So if you were to type in DoorDash exposed using AI mode on Google, this is what you will get. It says the DoorDash exposed content refers to allegations of scamming, financial deception, and creating a misleading online persona by YouTuber DoorDash, also known as Latoya Jones. Criticism of the influencer gained significant traction on social media platforms like YouTube and Reddit. The key allegations against DoorDash listed financial deception and down and out persona. It says critics allege that DoorDash pretended to be in financial distress to gain sympathy and financial support from her followers. This contrasts with revelations that she has been a six-figure earner in the past, owned a monetized YouTube channel with thousands of subscribers before launching DoorDash, and previously lived lavishly. Overpriced courses and services. She is accused of charging people high prices for YouTube coaching and courses that contain little helpful information and were not worth the cost. These services were marketed as a way for others to achieve success like hers. The get rich quick advice. DoorDash, her content initially focused on gig work, but then shifted to promoting the idea that followers could make large amounts of money on YouTube and quit their jobs. If you didn't know before, she was doing DoorDash deliveries and documenting her DoorDash journey on her channel way before, the DoorDash diaries. It also says many followers felt misled after failing to replicate her promised financial success. Misleading financial claims. Reports suggest that DoorDash overstated her YouTube earnings, which contributed to the perception that her career and financial advice were fraudulent. It says a recent report suggested that despite receiving many views, she was having trouble paying rent, which we all know is a lie, and that her actual YouTube ad revenue was much lower than implied. It says here religious manipulation. And so, according to some Reddit users, she allegedly used religious faith to gain her audience's trust and manipulate them into giving her money. That has a lot to do with her using God in vain in a lot of her videos. And she's always addressing God, how God told her to do this and God led her to say this. In a lot of her videos, there's always a mention of God. When it comes to everything she's done and said, it says here the decline of the DoorDash brand. Content fatigued. DoorDash's channel growth exploded in 2024, but her content became repetitive, focusing heavily on her YouTube earnings. Now, this led to a drop in her viewership and subscriber count. Eviction and financial fallout. Reports of her eviction and financial struggles in August 2025 further exposed the gap between her online persona and her real life circumstances. Counter content. A counter movement of content creators, some of whom were former followers, began producing videos and social media posts to expose her alleged scams and deceptive practices. So, if you search DoorDash exposed in the Google search tab, this is what you're going to get. So even AI and Google are onto DoorDash's scamming ways. Even they are onto her lies and her deceptive practices. So that should say a lot right there. And the looks of it, DoorDash is in harm's way of losing her YouTube channel in the future. You know, and I watched the video from Ringo TV Reactions where he had talked about her breaking the rules on YouTube and her breaking guidelines on YouTube and using scamming and spam content, which goes against the guidelines. So I want to shout out Ringo TV for bringing forth that information. And that's something a lot of people need to know about. And that's what she's doing. She does a lot of this spam content, and it's very repetitive. So if she's not careful, she could lose her YouTube channel. Now, this is a constant pattern of her, because if she understood the guidelines and the rules, she would have stopped doing this already. But something tells me she doesn't care. At this point, I think she's just, she's walking that dangerous line right now on purpose. And she don't care if her YouTube channel gets taken down. Because if she did, she will comply with the rules and, the terms and conditions, But at the end of the day, DoorDash is only self-destructing herself. And in the future, the near future, YouTube is going to really catch on to what she's doing. And they might can her channel for good.